had the opportunity to serve as the first female physician to His Excellency John Ejekum Kufuor during his term of office. And after that, I wrote a book which I launched in May 2014. But stemming on from that, I decided to put together a project that will help the girl child specifically, but also the youth in general. And that is how the Story of Our Lives project was born. This project is a nationwide girls mentorship project, which is going to be held annually. And the difference between this project and other mentorship projects is that it will tell the story of our lives. So we have mentors from all walks of life to tell the story of their lives. We thought it wise to come. We've done Greater Accra, we've done Volta, and we've done Eastern. And we are doing Ashanti tomorrow in Kumasi Anglican School. And we thought it proper to come to you, Honorable Mayor, and let you know that we're in your territory. And that is why we are here today.
I always say that women or girls are our mothers. You can never do anything without women or without our mothers. I personally think, as there's a saying goes, that every successful person, there's a woman behind it. But every successful business or every successful venture, there should be women, because they are mothers. They know how to nurse, they know how to look after, they know how to do things in a proper way. So I'd want to thank you for at least thinking of Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly as the owners of the city, and also we govern and run the city. At least you have really respected us, and especially me as a mayor. I want to give you the information that whatever you're doing in Kumasi, looks like you're looking for 300 people from Ashanti region, is that right? 200 girls. Yes, at least we'll get majority from Kumasi. That's what I'm hoping. So let me seize this opportunity to thank you for thinking of Kumasi and making it a good thing to come and pay a courtesy call on me, so that we would give you all the necessary support to do your program. And I must say that I'm very excited. And even if I was a white man, you'd have seen that I'm blushing, because why me? But anyway, it's all good. Dr. Anda and your friends from the Men's Feed Foundation, we thank you very much for coming. But I want to assure you that whatever you want to do in this, not even only in Kumasi, in this region, and you think I can give you the necessary support, why not? Because it's something good for the girl child. We have a lot of young girls roaming about doing nothing. They don't have any aim. People are misusing them. And it's good that you're doing this. So I'd want to encourage you. I want to give you all the support that will help you achieve all that you want to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. This is something that will go far. Our project, I forgot to mention, is talking about our challenges before getting to where we are. It's not extolling our successes, because our successes are obvious. She's a medical doctor, I am a medical doctor nutritionist, she's a manager in a hotel. Our other mentors are coming to join us. We have lawyers, we have entrepreneurs, we have beauticians, we have dressmakers. That is obvious that we are successful. However, it's the challenges that we faced before we got there. So we are hoping the story of our lives will encourage somebody, and that person in turn will encourage somebody else. So we must say we are extremely grateful. We will give you a report of what happens here, and we'll channel it through your point person for gender, and I'm sure it will get to your desk at some point in time. Thank you very much. On this note, I'd like to present to you a book. The book I wrote and launched a little late in the day, but I'd like to say thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll read it. I'll make sure I read it back and we finish it.
Please, and give me a feedback. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I hope everything is in there. The president's decision.
Yes, sir.
welcome all of you. We are glad that you are here. Even though some of the invitations came to the schools through phones, but we appreciate the zeal and your time. We want to say that thank you very much. We want to assure you that everything will be very fast, and by midday thereabouts, you will be back in your schools. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. The Regional Director's Rep. She is the Director in charge of Bosumtwi Education Directorate. She holds a master's degree in education leadership. She has taught for so many years in both basic and senior high schools. She has worked as the head of planning and statistics at the Asukwari Mampong Education Directorate. She's presently, as I said, the Director for Achuma Education Directorate, and she is representing the Regional Director of Education. She's in the person of Mrs. Augustina Kunedu Yado. Shall we give a round of applause to her as she comes?
Thank you, Auntie Emma. We have the team from Accra. We have Dr. Andam, Dr. Andam, yes, and the team. We have desk officers present. My girls, good morning to you once again. I'm very honored to be asked to stand in for the regional director who has been called to Accra for an equally important meeting like this one. As we all know, the policy objectives of girls' education includes to increase the enrollment of girls in schools, to retain girls in schools, and to ensure the transition of girls to next levels. All these can be achieved if all of us, being teachers, parents, stakeholders, all Ghanaians and the girls themselves, decide to contribute to the educational delivery program. This morning, we are going to witness Dr. Andam and her team towards that direction. We in Ashanti region have role model outreach in our 2015 action plan for girls' education to be organized by girls' education officers in all the districts in the region. We were therefore excited when we heard of the regional role model outreach to be organized for senior high school girls. We are proud and appreciate all support given by individuals and organizations towards educational delivery in our region. We appreciate particularly the support of this program by Dr. Amma Bwahi Anda and her team. We say, Aiko, Ashanti region, we are proud of you. Now, I wish to advise all the participants here to listen and take the advice that will be given to you by these young ladies we have made, young ladies who have made it to the top and will want to pull others up. We pray the team stays in Kumasi well and enjoy our city. We also wish you a very safe journey as you continue to other regions of Ghana to reach out to other girls. Thank you, and may God bless you. Thank you very much.
By the leader of the group, and she's in the person of Dr. Amma Bohini Anda. She will be the first speaker to address us. Oh, let's give it to her as she comes.
Good morning to all of you. Good morning, my distinguished speakers and mentors, the Regional Girls Education Officer, all the District Girls Education Officers here present, Me maame nom nananom pacho me mamu akwaba. I'm most pleased to be here. My name is Dr. Amabor Anda, founder of the Memphis Foundation. Memphis Foundation is an organization that had been on my mind ever since I was appointed physician to His Excellency John Ejekum Kufuor while he was in power. I was given that rare opportunity to serve in this capacity, being the first and only yet female to have served as a physician to a sitting head of state. And I thought to myself that after I have served, what would I want to do with the girl child and what would I want to do with the youth? And therefore, early in 2015, I set up this foundation. But before then, I wrote a book. The book is entitled The President's Physician. And today, every single girl from here will take a copy of that book back to your school and it's for free. We are not going to levy the girls for it. We'll give you the books to take back to your school. I launched that book in May 2014, and I have sold over 3,000 copies subsequently. The book has been an overwhelming success, but that book can only reach a few people. And therefore, in setting up this foundation, I decided to do what we call role modeling. However, this project, which is our maiden project, the Story of Our Lives project, is all about women who are young women, professional women, entrepreneurs, singers, dressmakers, beauticians, coming to speak to you about the story of our lives. Because if we don't tell you how we got to where we got to, you will think that it's all easy, that we had life easy, everything was all right for us. But we are not come to tell you who we are and how successful we've been, because from our introduction, it is clear that we are successful women. What we are come to talk to you about is purely our challenges. The challenges we faced as teenage girls like you. I now have 2 teenage girls. One is preteen, and the other one is a teenager, Kweba and Anama. They are here with us. And so I can imagine what you are going through, the different challenges that you are facing. And that is why we, the speakers, are here to talk to you about the challenges that we faced as young adolescent females, and even the challenges we are facing as young adults, married, some of us even with children. We are also here to speak about adolescent reproductive sexual health. It is a big issue that seems to be very topical now, and we are not going to talk to you about very basic things that you already know about, because we know that a lot of you go on the internet and you read all sorts of things, but do you really understand what you read? Or are you reading for reading's sake? Or do you put your own slant on the things that you read? We have an adolescent sexual reproductive health lady who is coming to talk to you one-on-one about adolescent reproductive sexual health. The questions you want answered, we are going to try as much as possible to answer them. There'll also be a talk on confidence. A lot of the time, we are very intellectually sound, we are very bright, we are very intelligent, but when we go somewhere, we can't speak. If you don't speak, nobody is going to know what is in your head. If you had 7 A's and 2 B's and you go for an interview and you cannot speak, they ask you, oh, Dora, so tell me a bit about yourself. My name is Dora. I had 7 A's and 2 B's. Who cares? The teacher has the paper in front of them. They know you had 7 A's and 2 B's. They want you to confidently tell them about yourself. I'm Dora, I was the girls' school prefect, or I was the games prefect, and I'm very interested in adolescent sexual health, and I've attended this meeting, and I've done this. It will get to a time they'll tell you, okay, stop, thank you very much, interview over. The next thing you know, you have secured the job or you have secured the position. So we are going to talk to you about confidence as well. And this is an interactive thing. We are not here to give lectures. We'll be asking some of you questions. Have you been through what we have also been through? And are you identifying with what we are also saying? So please come with me, ladies I was going to say and gentlemen, but it's mainly ladies here. Please come with me on the journey of the story of our lives. Thank you very much. It will be wrong for me to ask other people to tell you the story of their lives when I don't tell you the story of my life. How did I get to where I am today? What challenges have I faced? And you realize that a lot of these challenges, you have also faced them, or you continue to face them. I was born into a family where my father is a consultant pediatrician. He's now 82 years old. The 5 of us, I was the 5th of 5 children, and therefore the last born. So everybody said my mother spoiled me, my father spoiled me. It's not true. Me, I don't believe that. Because you know what used to happen? Because I was the last, they will send the first one will send the second one will say, send the third one, and me, there's nobody to send. So at the end of the day, I was the last person, and when they send me, I have to go. So although they thought I was spoiled, I didn't agree with them that I was spoiled. Another challenge that I faced is that my sister, who is now a consultant physician in the US, she was a model girl. My sister's uniform was always neat, her hair nicely parted, her nails always clean, and she was very polite, and she doesn't talk much. And then I came immediately after her, full of trouble. I'll talk to everybody. My uniform half will be here, the other half will be here. I can't find one sock, I can find the other sock. I'm telling you about myself. That's true. That's what happened. So my mother was always comparing me to my older sister. I'm sure there are some of you here who have the same problem. And somebody is saying, yes, yes. Now they all had journey. I didn't. I want to mean yes, only. Oh, had journey. They be out of school, but socks are here. Where are here? I didn't. Oh, had journey. Oh, had journey. That's all I also used to hear. And I used to think my mother hated me. When I was in class 4, I ran away from home. And I went to some place in Kolebu. I used to stay in Kolebu, the doctor's flats. I went to our staff room, and I said, I'm not going back home. I packed a small bag in a plastic bag, and I took it there. I said, I'm not coming back home. My mother doesn't like me. And that was very stupid on my part, because finally I was caught. And they brought me straight back home. I was hoping that my mother would say, oh, my darling, you know the story of the prodigal son. When they came, they got the biggest cow or calf, cut it up, made a ponchakrakra for the guy. He drank it. He drank some coke and everything. When I came, my mother didn't even look at my face. You know, she said, she just turned and then continued. She used to make pies and things. I remember so well. I was only in class 4. And I said, run away or no run away, this thing won't work. I think I rather have to learn the good things about what my sister does. And that is what my mother did for me. So by the time I was in secondary school, I was better organized. Because I know that when I come and my things are missing and my sister's things are not missing, I will have. And my mother used to cane us. I don't know whether they still cane you. Do they still cane you? Hey, my back was full of canes, my bottom. And my mother asked me, do you like your hand or you like your back? In fact, sometimes she won't ask. She will take the tapoli, she will take the wooden spoon. Anything my mother can lay hands on. She was a home science teacher, very strict. At the time, you would think your mother is not doing, especially even some of you, your teachers. If your teacher is picking on you, why can't you do your work? Why can't you do this? The teacher only wants you to be a better person. When I was in primary school, I was very good. Achimota school. I thought I was the Ogbo in the class. Hey. When I was in primary school, I was first, second, third. I mean, if I was third, that means I didn't do well at all. I used to get angry. Then I went to Achimota school. Achimota school was, everybody there was first, second, third in their school. So now, Clash of the Titans. When I got there, I started being 12, 13, 14. This was Form 1. Form 2, I was trying, still 11, 12, 13. Then I realized that no, the effort I was putting in secondary school, I have to double my efforts. I didn't sit there and start crying and say, oh, no. When you are faced with challenges, you stand up You look for the solutions to your problems. What was the solution? I was laid back. I was overconfident. I was coming from a school where I was always first, second, third. So I thought it's the same thing. But I used to have to stay up at night to study. Then my grades started coming up. I started getting prizes at speech and prize giving day. Then I knew that the time was good. Form 5, I did very well. Got a distinction. Went to school abroad for sixth form. I went to a school abroad where it was 95% white people in the United Kingdom. Only 5% blacks. And out of that 5%, there were only 5 or 6 of us Ghanaians in the school. So you can imagine. Another challenge. Eish. These white girls, when I got there, they said, oh, you are very good. We've read about you. We want you to be the prefect of St. Francis House. I said, eh. When I got there, you know, there they don't say, oh, hello, madam, hi, hello, sister. You know, the people who are older than you, Sister Kate, Sister Dora. There nobody says Sister Kate, Sister Dora. Hi, Dora. So when they saw me, a Form 3 girl, me, lower 6, former, calling me Bettina. Hi, Bettina, how are you? They will ask you, how are you? Before you, the older person, you ask them how they are. I say, eh? And I'm going to be the prefect for these girls. But I just said no. I can't say I can't do it. Coming from Ghana, from Begro, from Ekropong Ekweapim to London, St. Hilda's School, St. Francis House, then I'll tell them that, oh, please, this one, I don't know, so I can't do it. That is where confidence comes in. I took it up, and then when you do something that is wrong, then you are not allowed to punish anybody. Go and weed, go and scrap. No, 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 no. It doesn't exist. You call the person, talk to the person, why did you do this? And I found it very hard. Because sometimes I felt like taking how my mother used to take tapori and hit the person's head. But if you do that, hey, you won't only be suspended from the school. In fact, if you are not careful, you go to prison. So I did my sixth form there. I finished, and then I went to university a bit in the UK, and then I continued at University of Ghana Medical School. There came a big challenge. Second year, the most difficult year in medical school. I was sick for 3 to 4 weeks, went home, came back. Long and short of it is that I wrote my exam for second year and I failed. I failed. I mean, I'd never heard of failure. It didn't exist for me, failure. How? First, second, third, sixth form abroad. I got 2 A's, a B, 2 A's, 2 B's, and then a C in one subject. I did 4 A levels. I mean, failure, it didn't exist for me. But then, because I had missed 4 weeks of lectures, Clara will tell you, she's a physician herself. Second MB is tough. If you miss 1 week, you better start packing your things. So 4 weeks of lectures missed, I said I can do it. And I failed. So I had to repeat my second MB. My father, my whole family was disappointed, but they were supportive. And they saw me through. Finished medical school. Next thing I knew, I found myself in Kolebu Teaching Hospital, found myself in the Rich Hospital, finally found myself in the Akai House Clinic. When I was in Rich Hospital, there was the stadium disaster where, you know, people got hurt about 10 years ago. And I was at home. I had a problem with my leg. I had sprained my ankle. You know, I was going down some steps. I fell. I had a POP on my leg. So I heard on the radio that there was a lot of sick people, people who had fallen, people who were not well. So I said, look, I told my husband, I was married then, I said, let's go, I want to go and help. He said, you, this your quarter to one leg, that's what he used to call me. He said, your leg is one and a half, and you want to go and do what? Please, 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 I beg you. And sit down and let's, I said, no, I use my brain and my hands. I don't use my legs to set drip. Neither do I use, if I'm sitting down, I can still help. So I begged him, he took me there. While we were there, I was helping, doing certain lines, writing people's notes, writing prescriptions for people. Then His Excellency, John Ejikum Kufuor, who was the president at the time, decided to come and visit the people who were on admission. So I heard some sirens and things. I mean, I was still doing my work. Next thing I knew, he walked in, said, everybody who knows him knows, and he came during your time. So you people know His Excellency John Ejikum Kufuor. Gentle giant, quiet and very polite, came and visited all the people there. I went to hide behind the cupboard because I know him. My parents went to Prempeh College together several years ago, and his children are my friends. But I hadn't been to the house in a long time. I was hiding behind the wardrobe, and then he put his head round the wardrobe and said, who is that? So I came out, and then he said, hey, is this you? Ama, what is saying? I said, oh, Mpacho me hoye. He said, now 9 years, also called stadium, I said, me a doctor here. He said, oh, okay. How's mommy? How's daddy? You should come and visit us and all of that. And everybody was like, hey, you know the president. Hey, you know the president. Everybody was excited for me. After that, the long story short, I started going to the house again. His doctor had to take a steady leave. And then he called me one day and said, oh, Amma, get ready. In about a week or so, we'll be going to America. And I said, America? Excellency, what's happening in America? I said, oh, you have to come with me. You are going to be my doctor because my doctor no or steady leave until 1 hour. I said, at that time, I just had a baby. I was still breastfeeding. And he said, well, so what? I said, oh, I have to ask mommy, daddy. He said, oh, no problem. I'll call them and tell them that you are going to do the work. After the work, you do it. You don't have a choice. So that is how I became the president's physician. First woman. Most of the time, there were about 10, 12 men. I was the only woman. When they are climbing into the truck or climbing into the car, you have to climb. When they are running, you have to run. And President Kufuor, you know how tall he is, and his legs are long. When he takes one stride, you have to take 4. So the security people, you see them running. I said, what kind of work is this? And most of them were security people, so they had ammunition with them. When I entered the place, the first I said, guns, me, here, gun, no. But I had to do it. And they never saw me, which is a good thing. Never see yourself as a woman. See yourself as a capable individual. I didn't see myself as a woman. I stopped wearing skirts. Now I was wearing trousers all the time. Because when they are climbing, you are not now come to pull up your slate and say, oh, wait for me. The president has gone. You are now come to pull your slate. So see yourself as a capable individual, intelligent, confident, you can do your work, and don't let the men intimidate you. Because if you are capable, you don't have to make your presence felt. I never had to do that. Because they know, say, doc, dear, where you bet me, one friend doctor. They didn't say so, one friend, mammy, no. And now, so all bad, dear. No, because I made sure that I was capable. I will stop here to give my other colleagues an opportunity to tell you what they have also been through. It is not an easy road, and my book says, the president's physician bumps on a smooth road. Everybody used to think about Buckingham Palace and how I went here and I met the Queen, and that's nice. But there were a lot of bumps of the road. When there are bumps on your road, don't just stop and say, I cannot. Don't let I cannot exist in your vocabulary. You should just keep saying, I can, I will succeed. You should always try and motivate yourself. And God being your helper, I'm sure you'll succeed. I want in a few years' time, some of you here should be standing up here. And when I hand over the mantle, because the women are up to the age of 55, so after a while we can't do it anymore. We have to hand over the mantle to the likes of you. So you remember some of the things I said, you remember your challenges, you put them together and also impact the lives of other SS girls. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anda, for sharing your story with us. I will invite our second speaker, who is in the person of Mrs. Ifwa Ifre Afre Mante. Mrs. Mante is a lecturer at the Faculty of Health Science at the Kumasi Polytechnic. She is a biochemist and has research interests in nutrition in school-age children. Let us welcome Mrs. Mante Ashanti now the program to tell us the story of her life.
Thank you very much. Good morning to our distinguished guests, Nananom, the team of Story of Our Lives, fellow resource persons, heads of institutions, directors of education, and tutors and students. I am Efua Afremante, as she has introduced, a lecturer at the Faculty of Health Sciences, just at the Kumasi Polytechnic, which is just across the street. And as a lecturer, it didn't happen overnight. The road has not been smooth, but I am here, and I would also like to say that I am not staying here. We are still moving forward day after day. And I am glad that I've been offered this platform to share my experiences with you students, and I hope that somebody will learn something from my past challenges and apply the lessons learned to their future. So you are here to be empowered to see a possible future and believe that it can be obtained. I came from a fairly normal family. My dad, my mom had a wonderful siblings. I'm the second born. And I come from a very brainy family. My elder brother is a medical officer. I am a lecturer. My sister is a pharmacist. We have an engineer. Then we also have a medical doctor. So my family, we are all scientists, and we are all very brainy. So right from our childhood, there was always this competition at home that, everybody wants to excel in their educational abilities. And my dad was always very strict. He always used to say that, and I'll say, if you fail an exam, I'm not going to beg anybody, one pass here, so we always had that thing at the back of our minds, that everything that you do, you have to do it and do it well. And I remember one time I was ninth in school. That was in primary school, and it was hell for me at home. I mean, ninth, and it was news. Hey, how can you be ninth? I mean, everybody is first, second, third. How come you were ninth? And so from that time, throughout primary school, I stayed on top. I was an A student. I was a good student. And then I sat for the common entrance. The first attempt, I did very well, but I didn't get my first choice school. But my father wouldn't hear of it. You have to write the exams again. So I rewrote the common entrance the second time, and this time I got my first choice school. That was Holy Child School, Cape Coast. So after that, then the challenge of ill health. I got very, very sick, almost terminal, so to speak. So the very first term of secondary school, I was hospitalized as everybody else was going to school, and I was even wondering whether I would even make it out of the hospital bed to make it to secondary school. But finally I did, and so when I got to secondary school, I think just about a week or so we vacated. And even that I didn't want to go, my dad said, no, you have to be there at least to familiarize ourselves before the second term. So I went. So when the second term started, I already felt that I had lost the first term, so I had to catch up with studies, and that I did. Already, I am somebody who enjoyed learning, so right from Form 1, I put myself to my books, studied very hard, and then by Form 2, Form 3, I was collecting prizes in chemistry, in biology. I collected prize for best science students. Everybody was happy with me. I was even teaching my seniors chemistry. Sometimes I'm there and they'll come. If you come and teach me chemistry. And so I was doing that even for those who were in Form 4 and Form 5. Then when I got to Form 4, well, I can't really tell what happened. But the thing is that I became complacent, very complacent. I thought that with the very least learning, I can still make it. After all, I'm a student. I'm the best science student. I'm teaching my seniors chemistry. So I became very, very complacent. And I remember that the counseling unit called me, the Roman sisters, they called me and they were asking, do you have a problem at home? I said, no, I don't have any problem at home. Are you going through some challenges? I said, no. They said, so what is happening? And the interesting thing is, I didn't even know anything was happening. You are saying something is happening. Me, I don't know. So it was like that. And I just felt that they are just making fuss over nothing. Because for me, I still thought that I'm still an A student, So we wrote the O-level, and I didn't make a distinction. But still, I think I had O-level was 1. After distinction, was it 1? I've forgotten even how. But I still made it back to Holy Child, that is 6th form. Now, during the O-level break, whilst I was in school from Form 1 to Form 5, I was a bit antisocial. You won't find me going for entertainment. You won't find me going for intercore. And I'm not saying they are bad things. I mean, just make sure that you know what to do at what time. Sometimes I think that I missed out of the fun of those things. So they'll go, they'll come, they are talking about the boys they met, and did you see this girl and this boy? And then I'm there, I'm like, what are they even talking about? They will talk about it the whole night, talking about. So for me, that whole boy-girl thing was very new to me, because you wouldn't even find me socializing a lot. Till the Form 5 break, that was when I got myself in a relationship. So I got a boyfriend after O's. And so when I came back to 6th form, I was actually on cloud 9, if there's anything like that. So I like the song Auntie sang. She said, well, don't let your boyfriend what? Turn you around. Because my whole head was turned around. So I am studying, and I read one sentence, and I'm just thinking, my mind is all over the place. And it was so obviously it's affected my academic work. I was performing poorly, and I couldn't just come out of it. And complacency is also tied to procrastination. What I used to do is that, oh, this week is almost over. For next week, I'll make a timetable. I will commit to this timetable. Next week will come, and then I will continue the same old routine. And before I realized, A-levels were here. And the mock in itself was a reflection of what I was going to get, the real A-level. I did so poor in the mock that the headmistress called me. She said, what is happening? You were one of our A students. So what is it? So I went through this whole counseling thing again. And I said, there's nothing wrong with me. And I remember my teachers used to tease me, even though they didn't know. Hey, Jabra, when your boy, and I was saying, no, nothing of the sort. But yes, still. So I wrote the A-level and then came home. And even before the results came, sometimes I would dream and I know that I have failed. I don't know. I would just dream and I could see that I'm getting E, I'm getting D, I'm getting F. And so I was so anxious. And the interesting thing is that my elder brother and myself, we all, even though he's an elder brother, I caught up with him. So academically, he was at Infansipim, but we are the same form. So I finished A-level with him. So when the results came, want to know what I got? I made an E in biology. What did I get? Chemistry was my favorite subject. I made a D in chemistry. C in physics, which was about the only thing that, yes, A-level, and then as for the general paper, that one I had an A. That was the only So that was my grades. And my brother had for almost all the 4 A's. All of it. So you could imagine the embarrassment that I went through. And I remember I would cry and cry and cry, but crying doesn't solve the problem. You brought it upon yourself. But then I'll also say that who marries, the boyfriend that you had at 16 and 17. So that's why she said, don't let the person turn your life around. Because at the end of the day, it's just a passing, it's an infatuation, something that will just pass. But the most important thing is that when you don't make the grades, it will follow you for the rest of your life. So I re-registered as a private student, and staying home to write exams is very, very difficult. You will take twice the effort to make it. I wrote it the second time, didn't do too well. My dad wouldn't hear of it. Wrote A-level the third time round, and then, Kokompe added the marks, and then finally, it was okay. Had my way to KNUST to read biochemistry. So as a student of KNUST, once I stepped foot there, one of the things I told myself was that never again will I rewrite any exam so long as it depends on me. So right from first year to final year, I never trailed a paper. And I would do everything to make sure that I would pass. So that has been my principle since. Went through my training as a biochemist. Immediately I finished, I became a teaching assistant, followed up with my master program. And then after my master's, I was hoping to enter into lecturing immediately after. But there was another setback. I was promised of a lecturership, but when I finished, they said, now we have to have PhD to become a lecturer. And I was like, oh, all my lecturers had assured me that I was going to join them. So it was a big setback for me. But then I decided that I was going to a secondary school to teach, so I taught at Prempeh College for 6 years. So I'm an Amanfoa as well. And then I enjoy teaching boys. They are different. Girls are a bit, but boys, they are different. So after 6 years, I got the opportunity to join the staff of Kumasi Polytechnic as a lecturer. And I am also now a PhD candidate at the Department of Biochemistry. Studying nutrition and dietetics. And I would like to say that even at this stage, married and all, I still discipline myself to learn. I sit up and I learn. Even as a lecturer, as a student, I am doing it all. So I study. Sometimes I sleep at 1, wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock. And even as a lecturer, you shouldn't be complacent, because you have to know what you are going to stand in front of the people to even teach. So I am always reading, researching. So discipline is doing what you have to do when you have to do it, even when you don't feel like it. You have to discipline yourself to do it. So that is the story of my life so far. And I hope that the next time we meet, I'll have a doctor or a PhD or a doctor in front of my name. And I'll urge you all to stay away from complacency. It's very seductive when you are being complacent. Sometimes you don't even see it, and before you realize it had ruined a bright future of yours. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, I'll not waste much time, and I'll invite Dr. Clara Apieje Inchi. Oh, you can do better. She's a doctor. I'm sure she has a very wonderful story to tell you. You're welcome. Hello. I'm very excited to be here this morning.
with all of us, our distinguished guests, my head team members, good morning, students. I must say it's a dream come true for me to be a doctor, yes. And it may look like, wow, but when I start telling you what I've been through, then you will sit up and you know it's not just dreaming about it, daydreaming as we say, but it's efforts. I was born to a family of 5. I'm the 4th born, actually the last girl. And let's say when I was born, about 8 months after, my dad had the opportunity to travel outside to do his master's. So my parents left, and then they gave us to my grandmother. That time she was in the village. So my sister and I, we are just a year apart. So we were the youngest and were sent to the village to go and stay with my grandmother. Very rural area. I was told a lot of the stories. I mean, when they are going to the farm, I'll be put in a basket, they'll cross the river. I was like Moses then. And they'll take me to the farm, keep me there. When you are going to school, you carry your table and chair, you take cassava, what we call banchampesie, and you send it to school and all that. And was after 4 years that my parents came back. And by that time, we were almost what we call villagers, because we had never seen city life. We didn't know modern clothing, we couldn't speak English, none of that. So they came back for us and brought us to the city, to Kumasi. And we had to start nursery school and all. So you can imagine, we're like so uncomfortable, we're used to this high-class society. I started school at KUST, nursery school. That time the secondary school was the next door, so we used to be there. And it was a struggle to fit in. But God being so good, I started picking up, I was learning, and then I was doing okay. But my parents were very, very strict in the sense that when you go to school at the end of the term, they'll pick your reports. Whatever grade you had, whatever position, you receive twice the lashes. So when I started, I was in the 20s. So you receive 40 lashes. And so it's like, you're always very anxious when the reports are coming. And I started learning, and then my best position in primary came to 12. So I was receiving 24 lashes. God being so good, he had an opportunity to travel again to do his PhD. So this time we were grown enough, so he took us along to UK and we were there for some time. So I continued a bit of my high school there, junior, late primary, junior, and then had to come back. And when we came back, my classmates that I was with in the primary school had all registered for the PEC exams, and I had come late. So the headmistress then at KUST said she has to go back and start with her juniors so that I could register for the exams. And I was like, wow, yeah, I've come, you think, oh, she's traveled, she's come, but I had to more or less, in quotes, be like repeating. That's what all my classmates thought. I had just repeated, or born or something. So I cried. I cried a lot. I was like, oh God, help me. And so I came as a student to second semester. And by then, most of my mates in GSS, the level I went to, had passed through first year, second year. They've done all the courses and all that. And I had to start afresh. I had lost almost 1.5 years. We had just about a year before the next BEC exams, and I was poised to write with them. So I had to go back and write all their notes, go for social history, every note, science notes, go and pick their Form 1 note, rewrite it, learn the current notes as well. And what really was even worrying me was learning tree. I had stayed outside and I had forgotten most of my tree. I couldn't spell anything. And you know, tree is in Ghanaian language, tree is an integral part of the BEC exams. So, I mean, when we do the exams, that will be my last position. It's like, you come and your script is red, everything underlined, every spelling is wrong, and it will be bleeding. And I'll get like 9%. So, and my school, USCJS, used to do combined, where all the year, if a second year, assembly, as a surprise, the headmistress will announce, get ready, we are mentioning all the positions. So they are arranged according to your marks, starting from the first person to, we're like 400 and something in the year. So according to your mark, they'll mention first 100, you come and stand, we'll clap for you. Then next 200 and all. And then I started in the 400s. So the first combination is like such a disgrace. Winner. And I remember one friend of mine, he was one of my classmates, and he saw I was learning, I was making the effort, but he just came and said, Clara, I don't want to see you at that place again. You can do better. So he actually came and sat down with me, helped me to learn. If I finish, he'll give me questions to answer and all. And I saw that, hey, I can do this thing. So I started reading. The next time I was in the 200s, reading. Then I came to 46. And by that time, the BEC exams was drawing near. So I was just saying, I need to do science. I had developed great passion in science. I wanted to do science, and science you need once. So I was like, yeah, I have to put in more effort. And then she being a setback, I had to read, I had to memorize stories just so that I can have something to write on the day of the examination. So I sat for the exams, and when it came, I did so well, 9 ones. And I had 2. And even that, that was the mark my parents clapped for me because they knew how hard I had struggled to get that. And because I had good grades, my first school, St. Louis, accepted me. I was there on the list, happy. And we went to school in October that year. And when we started school, you know, when you go to school, everybody is showing off. We've all come, yes. Every student, good from their doing kiddie quizzes and all that, they've all come. So the sharks are all in the science class. Everybody's going to prove themselves. So you will see people who did pre-SS classes holding big textbooks and you have nothing in your hand. And I was like, hey, another battle. So we started the science course. When I went to Louis, I went for a medical check-up at Confanoche. And I just saw the medical students dressed in their beautiful coats and seeing patients. That's why I told my mom, I want to be a doctor. I just love it. And she was like, yeah, you can do it, just learn. So I came back to school and my friends, hey, so what will you do? Everybody was saying this. And I said, you need doctor. I said, yeah. And one of my seniors said, Clara, this one then, we don't do well in biology here, so we don't go to medical school like that. I was like, hey, let me want to be a doctor. So mean that I had to push. The whole school, we had one biology teacher, and apparently he wasn't even using the syllabus. So we go for class and you look to the past questions and you can't answer anything. So I used to spend a lot of time at the library. It was around that time that I saw my future. And one thing my dad always told me was, you can do anything you want to do, just study hard. and that said, as for him, his investment in my life is education. Doesn't have any big property to give me or anything. He was a lecturer on campus at that time at KUSC. So I just have to put myself, and in the family, no one is there to take care of you if you don't succeed. So you have to learn. You are on your own, essentially. So I have to take that advice, and I pushed myself. I formed my timetable ahead of time. I stuck to it. Then I started excelling. When we started, I think my grade was 8 in the class. I didn't mind. Then I was pushing. By the end of first year, I was first. And we did a speech day. I got the overall best science student, best biology student, best chemistry student. And I was like, a year President Kufuor came to our speech and prize giving day. So I have pictures with him. And God being so good, I also got a scholarship. Cocoa Board gave a scholarship for the best science student. So my parents were even paying school fees. They were so happy and proud of that. And I decided that I won't be complacent. I will learn. I saw myself as a candidate for the exams, West African exams. And that didn't depend on my classmates. I'm going to compete with people from Wesley Girls, from Infancy Machimota, all the schools. So I was like, no, I won't even use my classmates as a standard. If I want to get into medical school, everybody said it's competitive, you need grade 6 A's. So I needed that. So I used to push myself. I will stay up. I used to sleep at 4 a.m. From prep time, I'll come, I'll read, and wake up at 6 and bath with everybody and rush for assembly and all. And by the time we got to 3rd year, I was the overall best student for the science class. And I remember one of my teachers saying that, hey, if you beat Clara in biology, I'll give you a prize as a motivation to my colleagues. But I still continued. Mock came, I did well, and when we wrote the final exams, it came and I had 7 A's. And social studies, I had a B. And when I went for my results that day, I had the shock of my life. I went and apparently, even when I was in the house, one of my teachers came and said, Clara, your results are out. He came to tell me. And so I went to the school, well-dressed and all. And when I went for my results, all the students came out. All my juniors, they came to surround me. Let me see your results. Is it true? Everybody was amazed. And I was like, there were tears in my eyes. I was just so grateful to God and so happy. And I applied for medical school. And God being so good, I went through, I had my placements and started medical school. And then to a great challenge, because Louis, good students and all, you come here, all the Brilla students from across. I mean, those who won the Brilla for that year, Chimota, the captain was in my class. I was part of the Brilla group in Louis, but when we came there, all the people who went to meet at Brilla were there in my classroom. So you can imagine, highly competitive. We did the first year, people were breaking records. And you have to catch up, you have to keep on moving. So what I want to say is, nothing comes easy. If you want to go somewhere, one of the movies I watched, Sister Act, said if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, then you better wake up and pay attention. Because the people around you may distract you. It's very true. Boys will distract you. Yes, I had proposals. Boys want to. But I just told myself, I need to make it for myself. I need to be somebody. I need to go somewhere. And so I had to sacrifice. You sacrifice friends. Some friends want to sit with you and chat all day. They are time wasters. Hello, hi, how are you? Let's continue. So you have to push. But the good thing is, at the end of the day, it all pays off. Now I'm in my dream job, I'm happy. I'm still schooling. I'm schooling to become a specialist. I'll go further. I'm doing research. I'm working with CDC. I'm doing so much. And the sky is the limit. Once you set yourself for success, know that you can achieve it. And don't even let you yourself limit what you can do. Thank you.
Indeed, she's an example of from the bottom to the first. And she says, if you want to go somewhere, you have to wake up. So turn to your friend and tell her, if you want to go somewhere, wake up. Tap her the ding ding. Tap her, if you want to go somewhere, wake up. Okay, before I invite our confident speaker, we have a wonderful group of girls here called the Cast LG. They're going to give us a short choreography. The Cast LG, where are you? Oh, let us give it up to them. Oh, Cast LG, you are welcome, you are welcome.
But I read and I read a lot. When you have knowledge on a subject, you are more confident to stand up and speak about it. Isn't that the case? So it's not just about having diction, but also having knowledge. Learn about your subject area so that when you stand up to talk, you can confidently speak. Then even when you have diction, you eliminate the possibility of buying, if I should say. So please, learn how to communicate and communicate properly. That's one key ingredient for you to be a confident person. To conclude, I'd like to use a scripture from the Bible. Hebrews 10:35 says that, so do not throw away your confidence. So today, the message to you ladies here is that do not throw away your confidence. Dr. Anda didn't throw away her confidence. That's what brought her this far. Dr. Inchi didn't. And Afre, I got the Afre. Afre didn't throw away her confidence either. When they were called upon to speak, they came and they spoke to you about their stories. It's not an easy thing. They probably had to sit down, think, oh, what happened last, how many umpteenth years? To be able to put up this presentation to bring to you. So do not throw away your confidence. But the part I like about this scripture is the second part. It says, it will be richly rewarded. So, by not throwing away your confidence, you will be rewarded. One day, you will be called upon to do something great. And because you are confident, you will have a reward because of that. So keep your confidence and keep in mind that whatever you do, you are good, you are adequate. Prepare yourselves and be able to articulate, communicate your point, and you will go far. Thank you very much for today, for this presentation. I hope somebody here has heard something that will propel them towards greatness. Thank you.
I invite Ms. Abigail Gamo, who is the nursing officer at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, to come and give us a talk on, or to come and share with us. She's coming to talk to us about adolescents' reproductive sexual health. Let us welcome Ms. Gamo. Oh, my ladies, you can do better.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. All protocol observed. My name is Abigail Gamo, as she introduced. I'm here to give you a talk on adolescent sexual health, sorry. And when we talk about adolescence, I want one person to define adolescence. Anybody? Please come up. As she said, adolescence is the period from moving from childhood to adulthood. And during this stage, I believe that we go through certain problems because it is at this stage that you see a lot of changes going on around your body. You have a change in how you think, how you feel about yourself. That is when you start having your sexual feelings. And if you don't take care, it is going to get you into trouble. At this stage, I believe as girls, that is when we start having our menstruation. The flow of blood from the womb to the vagina every month. And at this stage, I believe that you have to take very good care of yourself to prevent, vaginal infections and all that. And as you start having your menses and you go in for an unprotected sex, I believe you all know what is going to happen to you. You get pregnant. If you don't get pregnant, you stand a chance of contracting, sexually transmitted infections, including HIV and AIDS. And we have something we call HPV that can also be contracted through sex. You can actually get it from a guy, the HPV, and it can give you something we call the cervical cancer. If it is not detected early, it can actually lead to death. And as an adolescent, I believe you are all in school to learn. So going for an unprotected sex shouldn't be part of your syllabus. Even though you start having sexual feelings, I believe that you know the reason why you are in school. You are here to learn to become important people in future. Or am I telling lies? Yes, so you have to always stick to your books. Even though the feelings will come, you have to, take control of your feelings. All right. One may ask, how can I keep myself from getting pregnant? Just as I said that the sexual feelings are going to come, you can occupy yourself. You understand? You can read, you can form study groups, you would want to, share what you've learned in class with your friends. So when it happens like that, you can just go into the class, have a discussion group, occupy yourself with other games and all that. You understand? You don't have to go and be in one corner with a guy, you start touching yourself and doing all sorts of things. By the time you realize you are, you've gotten yourself into things that are not supposed to be. And being an adolescent mother, it is not easy. In the hospital, we tend to see a lot of people, pregnant. They come for antenatal and they are shy. They come to meet adults. When it's time for you to start making babies, it will always come. But now that you are in school, I believe that you wouldn't want to get yourself into that trouble. They come to see the doctor and all that. Now the baby is in. Maybe you would want to go back to school. Who is going to take care of your baby? If you don't have any good support, maybe your mom is not ready, your mom is a busy working mom, who is going to take care of your baby? When it happens that you get back to school, you always be thinking about your baby, what the teacher is teaching, you are not going to focus, hey, what is happening to my baby at home, and a whole lot. You understand? So please, as we are in school now, let us focus on our studies and avoid, doing things. Sometimes you come to school, you go on vacation, there's a party, you get yourself involved in, you are all enjoying, and maybe some guy will come and, tell you like, oh, so take this small alcohol and all that. These are some of the things that can, lead you into trouble, because when you are drunk, you can't take control of yourself. Or am I telling lies? The guy will just take an advantage and sleep with you. Even once that you have sex with a guy can make you pregnant. What happens next? Am I going to go back to school or what? Your dreams get shattered. If you don't have any good support, it's going to end you in the drain. You understand? Okay. So all I want to tell you is to abstain. Abstinence is key. When you abstain, nothing is going to happen to you. When you are old and you get married, you have sex until you start running away from it. But now that you are in school, I believe you are all going to focus on our studies. As we have heard the stories, you need to, determination doesn't come in a day. You need to work hard towards it. You can't just be at one place and be like, oh, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, and just leave it there. You have to really work hard. If you try to involve yourselves in these, bad companies, doing all sorts of things, and you get pregnant, you wouldn't be able to get to where you want to get to. Do you understand? One may ask, does abstinence just happen? You can't just be there and say, oh, I said no, and I want to abstain, but when we went, the guy was trying to do this, and I said no, and it just happened. You need to stand on your grounds and say, no, I'm not going to do it. I am in the school for a reason and I want to learn, so I am abstaining. If the guy really wants to be with you, he would always wait for you. When you finish school, he will marry you, and whatever he wants to do with you, he will do with you. Just as some of our mentors said, it is just infatuation. He only wants to sleep with you. And the risks involved are many. As a growing adolescent, your bones for supporting pregnancy is not so matured. You go through a lot of problems during pregnancy and childbirth. So I am trying to, tell you all that is involved to avoid unprotected sex. Now that you are in school, you focus on your learning, and I believe that whatever you want to achieve in future, you'll be able to do that and do it better. Thank you.
Advantages of being confident, of having a good self-esteem. But when you become overconfident, then you stop working hard at what you are good at. Now you think that you can achieve what you want or whatever you were achieving with little or no effort. When you get there, then you also realize that you are becoming overconfident. And then also when you no longer heed to advice, you think you know it all, then you are also realize that you are becoming overconfident. So before we go back to her issue of being overconfident, I would like to ask, what are some of the negative effects that you think being overconfident? I think you know it all. You don't listen to anybody's advice. You stop working hard. Yes. Your face looks like somebody who's called. Are you Vivian? Okay, then today you'll be Vivian. Yes. The chia. So sometimes you need people to direct you. You need advice from people. But when you become overconfident, you don't listen to anybody else. Okay.
Spend some time to study, to learn. After some few minutes, then you group yourself, then you discuss questions. Especially when you are the final year, discuss your papers, the old PASCO, how do you call it, the PASCO questions, then you discuss them together, okay? Don't shadow yourself alone, be in your room alone, be in the dormitory alone, saying, I'm learning, please. It will not help you. It will not take you anywhere. It will help you. Any more questions?
I also think that we have to get good people to coach us when studying, because there are some people that you can confront. I think we also have to get people who can coach us to study. That's our teachers.
She's also saying that she needs somebody who is a teacher to coach the person. Yes, it's true. You need a coach, but perhaps, do they come? They don't come. So you need to fall on your senior who you think she knows the subject that you are weak about, so that she'll be able to do or to be able to coach you. Any questions again?
About being passionate about what you do. Actually, when I got to SHS, I had this passion to do visual arts and then later on continue on as a fashion designer. But when I went to my school, I saw the people who were going to do visual arts and they were too small. It killed my spirit, so I went for general arts. Though I'm not doing that bad there, I want to know, I'm still passionate about fashion designing. Do I have a chance to do fashion designing maybe after SHS in the university or something?
I'm sure we have our teachers here. They'll be able to answer that.
Well, since you have already been enrolled, you are in the second year, isn't it? Third year, you can't do anything about it. Just finish it. But after finishing, you can go to maybe other poly or other places where they do fashion and top it up. That one, I think, will also help you to get whatever passion that is in you to come out. Or you can even start your own something. Are you getting it? Nowadays, we are encouraging entrepreneurship a lot. People doing their own things. Some people are even at the university and they start doing something with their hands. Some are selling items to their mates because the passion is there. Are you getting it? So don't kill that passion. It's still there and you will develop it later. Just go on with the normal or regular that you are doing. And later it will come out. You'll find your level somehow along the line.
The same way my children are free with me. So I said, Mommy, this girl says she likes me. It's okay, she can be my friend. But I could see there was something deeper that this girl wanted to do with me. She wants me to be in the room with just her. I said, why? Well, other people should come into the room. You know, I didn't encourage it at all because that's not how I was brought up. Religiously, that's not how we are trained. Morally, that's not how we are trained. And even physically, it's not good for you. So please, there is no option where that is concerned. Yes, ma'am.
Is it normal to sometimes have pains inside your breast?
Yes. During your periods, there are things we call hormones. And the hormones, depending on the time of the month, especially just before you have your period, you realize your breasts become engorged, they become heavy, and they become painful. And sometimes they even become lumpy. So when it's like that, you make sure that if it's really bad, you can take some paracetamol. But otherwise, just wear a very firm brassiere. Right now, what we tend to wear is some, I don't know whether I can even call them brassiere, some thin, something big, then your breast will be sagging. The more it sags, because it is under pressure. You know, when something is sagging, it makes it more painful. But when it is well supported, so you pull your brassiere up to support your breast up, it makes the pain less. And you realize after 1 day, 2 days, maximum 3 days, it's gone. So don't start thinking all the strange things, breast cancer, hey, my breast is paining me, I've got breast cancer. No. In fact, when there's pain, then it's likely there's no cancer. And that's what I keep telling people, a painless lump. And now you've talked about the breast, very important. Keep examining your breast, okay? At the same time every month, you have to choose the same time so that the consistency of your breast is the same. So if it is normally just before your period, it's not a good time. So normally 1 to 2 weeks after your period, choose a particular day and you examine your breast. You go in a circular motion round your breast with the flat of your fingers, not the tips. If you go and do this, you'll feel 1,000 lumps. But if you do this, you will feel that it is consistent. Do it all the time so that when there's a lump in there, you will notice. Do you understand? At this stage, adolescent stage, there are a lot of lumps. Your breasts are now still developing. They haven't finished. So you feel a lot of lumps. Don't panic. If you are not sure, you can ask somebody who knows. But keep examining your breasts from now so that when you are women, it makes it easy. It becomes a part of you. You understand? So that's what I'll say about the breast. It is normal. You get painful breast.
So it's not all rosy. And I must say in life, there are always challenges. And it is the successful ones. It's successful people never quit. You never quit. So it's about determination. You have to be strong mentally that this is where I want to go and nothing can stop me. So yes, the challenges come, and problem always comes with solutions indirectly. There are always solutions around. There are people who have passed through similar things. You go and you talk to them and you seek counseling. Sometimes when it's so difficult, you have to get counseling, get psychological support. Yes. And then aside that, I think one of the things that I know KNUST and some of the institutions does is brilliant and needy students. They have scholarships for them. So it shouldn't all be that, what next? How am I get money for maybe my tuition fee? There are scholarship programs, Cocoa Board and a few others run. So as I said, there are always solutions to problems. It's about the approach to the problem. But as an individual, you shouldn't let your problems bring you down and let you give up in life. Other than that, you are going to regret it in the future. But the challenges will give you a story to tell somebody that, hey, I went through the same thing and today, look at me. Okay, so Michelle, and to all of us, let's keep
saying is this. He was talking about somebody who has a problem financial. You have guest education officers in your districts. So if you have a problem like that, you have to go to the guest officer and we have some means of helping brilliant but needy girls. He can lead you to somewhere where you can get some help and further your education. I'm doing it in my district. I'm a guest education officer. And secondary, you are asked not to send mobile phones to school. You hide the phones and send them to school. It's disturbing you a lot. It is getting you down. You concentrate on these mobile phones. The time you used to learn, you sneak and hide somewhere and you'll be chatting and you'll be calling and doing all sorts of things which are not necessary for you at this time. The secondary school determines what you'll be in future. So if you are wise, as he said, you set a goal there. If you want to be a teacher, it will be from the secondary school. If you want to be a nurse, if you want to be a doctor, it is the secondary school that will determine what you will be in future. So if you are in this place and you take your lessons for granted and you play around, you are doing more harm than good to yourself. You can't get anywhere after school. You'll be a school dropout and you'll be roaming in town and will be feeding the boys. The zombie boys in town, you will be feeding them because of 2 CDs that you give to you. It won't help. So throw away the phones, stop unnecessary gossips and other things and keep to your books. That will help you get to where you will be in future. I hope I'm clear.
Growing up, one thing I learned is that you can't achieve much without putting in any effort. Personally, my parents wanted me to be a doctor too. I went to school. I was a brilliant student, but I hated learning. It's not that I hated learning. I couldn't be bothered. I just thought that, everything would just happen. I write my exams, I pass, and I'm happy. I'm a very happy person. I didn't used to think about all those things. But I learned over time that if you don't learn, you won't move one foot. You think you are moving forward. You will see that at a point, they'll separate the men from the boys. The people who are learning, you will see them. The people who, when you were younger, they were 20th in class. Because they knew they were 20th in class, they were learning hard, and you were first. As you go up, before you know it, you've written, especially when you write external exams. How many of you are in your final year? Especially when you, like the lady said, your external exams, it's not the people in your school, the people in your class. Oh, these people, dear, me, my bench, we made it first. You are competing with people from all schools in Accra, schools in Cape Coast. Now it's West Africa, right? So schools in Nigeria.
What will I use? Pardon me? Magnificent. That's right. Then when we go to Central Region there, it will be wow. Directors Rep, our honorable role models, CEO, Manfred Foundation, my girls officers, and my dearest girls. I'm extremely happy that I'm here today. And I've seen girls, beautiful girls, like my youthful days, but I was beautiful than you. Don't you agree with me? You don't agree. As I'm here, I'm beautiful. So my youthful days, I was more beautiful than you are. Do you know why? I will tell you soon. This program, I wish every girl will be here, but the resources we don't have. And you have been selected from your schools. And I know we have more than 10 schools in Ashanti region. You have been selected. Do you know why you were selected? Who can tell me why she's part of this group from her school? Who can tell me? Or the teachers feel you are beautiful, you can talk, that's why they brought you. Can you tell me? You are, yes. They spoke to you about confidence, self-esteem. And then when questions are asked, you see some people doing this. I don't want you to leave here the same. My dear, come here and then tell. Even the boys, you have to share the message with them. You are laughing. When I said the boys, you are laughing. Do you know, the boys are partners. You know, when we went to some bridges, they were accusing girls' education unit. And you are talking about girls' education. You have left the boys. We have not left the boys out. The boys are our partners. But the reason why we are talking about girls' education, we are laying emphasis, we are vulnerable. We are vulnerable. We want the exposure. We want to build our confidence level and self-esteem so that we can move apart with the boys. When you look at these ladies, the way they spoke, don't you think there are men who are equally doing well like them? So we see that there are boys who are also better and who are equally in need, who are also vulnerable. And because we have been left behind for a very long time, that is why we are blowing them.
I think everyone is on Facebook here. You can find us on Facebook. Facebook, so it's Memphis Foundation. I will now invite the head girl of CAST to come and give us the vote of thanks. Oh, let us welcome her with a clap of her. You can do better than them. It is not easy to be the head girl. The Director General of Education, the Ashanti Regional Education Directorate, the founder of Medford Foundation, Dr. Benita Amabuhin Anda, Dr. Clara Apia Eche, Ms. Mariam Danko, all protocols observed. I do deem it a great honor to be given the opportunity to mount this podium to give the vote of thanks for this colorful occasion. I am Aguzi Soto Esther, the head girl of Anglican Senior High School. My first and foremost thanks goes to the Almighty God for making this program a success. It is by His grace that this program has become a successful end. We do appreciate His efforts, and to Him I say, Ayiko. And then to our speakers, on behalf of my comrades and myself, I want to say a very big thank you for the time taken off your duties to give us this good counsel. More grace to your elbows as you embark on journeys to other places to educate our sisters in other schools. And then to our senior house mistresses, thank you for the time spent in bringing we girls together to receive this good counsel. To you, I say, God bless you. And then not forgetting our sponsors, thanks for the contribution you made in making this program a success. To you, I say, Onyami Onsham. And then to my fellow girls, thanks for the time taking off your books to make this program a successful one. This program would never have been a success had it not been for your presence and your comportment. I do pray and hope that we take the advice that we've been given and put them into practice. And I believe if we do so, our lives will be nothing but success. The high table, comrades, all protocols observed, it is my prayer and my hope that in the near future, all of we girls gathered here will be nothing but successful women to our own benefit, the benefit of society and the nation at large. Thank you. And I think we have a lot of confidence. We wish to support the confidence. Over to you too.
I'm Hikmat Al-Hassan from T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School, Kumasi. This program has taught me how to become overconfident or like to develop confidence in myself. Memfed, I encourage them to keep on organizing this program because it will help the youth in developing their skills and also being confident in whatever they are doing. To people out there, I say be self-determined. Determination should be your first thing in mind. You should be determined. With determination and hard work, you can get success in whatever you are going to do. Thank you.
From Kwabri East. I'm the girls officer over there. In fact, this program has been a successful one, a very helpful, so far as our girls are concerned. Having a mentor to emulate is a very good idea for the girl these days. Because most of us, though we may come from a rich home or something of that sort, we don't have a mentor to emulate. So once they are having this program for secondary schools in Ghana, I think it's very good. And the girls are so happy that we, the women of high positions, are behind them. And for that matter, I think some time to come, problems associated with women will be a little bit smaller, and I think Ghana, on that matter, will move forward. Thank you very much.
My name is Lisa, and from this program, I've learned a lot of things. I've learned that we have to be assertive to have confidence. We need to have a strong-willed character to be able to carry out our duties as ladies. We shouldn't think that we are not human beings. We should see ourselves as capable. We should be able to stand up for ourselves. And also, we learned about adolescent health, and we were told that we are supposed to abstain from certain acts, such as engaging yourself in unprotected sex, because it might lead to you contracting certain viruses, which would lead to a lot of health problems, such as cervical cancer and the lot. And I really think it's a good thing that Memphis Foundation did by inviting schools to come and educate us on such issues, because girl-child education in Ghana is one most important thing that we must encourage ourselves to engage in. And I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy that Memphis Foundation was able to do this. So this is what I have to say. I really am grateful because I've been able to come here to learn a lot. And I know that as I'm going to tell my other colleagues about it, and they're also going to learn a lot from what I know.
Me di nana pokuya domfe. Me fe fo invite. Me di nana pokuya domfe. Me a girl child offensive municipal. enti me fi ofin so na bae me fe na e frɛ me sɛ me tena omu dwumadie a omu di mu na dwumadie ne ɛfa afutu a omu de brɛ school for ma yo asɛ de be ya omu be gyina omu nanso asua ade na omu atwe omu ho afiri ememasɛm ne yare ahodo ho na omu de botaa bi asi omu ani so sɛ de be ya omu beduru mpempensuo bi a omu nso so sɛ Ghana ka atitirifu a yɛboa ma ɛman na akɔso a omu nso edin bɛka ho bi na ma adwen kyerɛ ne sɛ dwumadie na yɛade a ɛsom bo paa na nyɛ ɛma ne nyinaa na enya saa akwanya aba eba dwumadie bi eti ɛbɛyɛ anka wɔn fa nkɔ mfa bi mra ofin so baabi a mefiri ɛne mmea aka sɛ de ɛbɛyɛ a ɛmaayɔ na wɔn kɔ secondary school na wɔn enya saa akwanya wɔn nso so benya akwanya atie dia wɔn ɛbɛyɛ yi atie dia wɔn bɛka kyerɛ nkɔla yi bi na wɔn nso ɛde atoto wɔn abrabɔ ho abɔ wɔn bra ma nakɔ animu.
Pacho Nana Chiame de tu na nanim say mo frɛ me Dr. Ama Bohene anda na nyame ye madom mo amude hye o mampanyini kufuo owo so as president 2004 to 2008 no o frɛ me sɛ meye ne doctor hwɛ no enti me hwɛ o mampanyini kufuo sa amre no onye president sesi akra sabio onye president me da so hwe no na ensida wo Ghana se oba wo mama oba etumi aye president doctor enti me wi adwuma no me da so ye adwuma no de nso office no me dwendwen ho na me bisa me ho se de na metimi aye a me nso kakra mesua fi adwuma yi mu no ene baby a sabio omampanyi mame ekosi ye no metumi emayiwa ewo Ghana memu ha metumi aka bribi a kire wonom na wonom nso etumi esua bribi papa na won aye te sene asebi aduasa yen so yaye enti no metro nwoma 2014 May na ye launch nwoma no mi wie na me ye foundation ketwa bi boaboa ma no mampanyini fo ebi ye doctors ebi ye lawyers ebi pamade ebi ye tea ebi ye beauticians ebi ye nananom okra sebe na ye say ye beko Ghana ha nyina ye started wo Greater Accra yakọ Eastern yakọ Volta nene ya ba masase so wa Asante memo ha na ne ye no say ye boaboa secondary school for ma no 200 ahenu wo region biemu na ye ne wo mo adinkita ho ye mekire o mo say ye nkola po asuade o eno de o mate na mum ensohwe a ya fam a ye de aba bedu ba bi a ya bedui ni nyina anya se bribia ye pepepe wo wiase a wo befa nsohwe kakra mu enti ye ba ye no nia esi wo ya brabo mu na ye beka kire wo no mo se wo ye maiwa no yenso ne ye fam a ye yo setie ma ye papa nom ne ye maame nom ne ma ankoyie a ye nya afutuo papa a ye de edu ba bi a ye de edu no eno na ya ba ye ne wo mo beka ho asem ye ne Ghana Education Service na ye di sa adwuma enti chiame ye ba ya na ya mane ebo no no
de di kan enu aba yi na edanase
jen
sanse omampani kufuo bedi akonya mfie nwotwe
jen
asabe oba ye hwe bra na wo bre odi akoni aba wo fa ha
jen
ena no pe kra na metie radio fa president call Western region na accident bi esi ye
jen
ena obi making reference kosi mampani kofo accident bi a wono so onyaayɛ
Jean
megi sɛ de nyinaa wo na ahwɛ no
Jean
ɛda wase
Jean
yɛtɔ so mienu nipa a ɛkam ho ba yɛ nyinaa maame onkora ne baako ni mi o bi teacher ni o
Jean
ene Vida ne Sylvia na office
Jean
ntuma de me de ti hakwa
Jean
e ba na makram director say mi ko di hene kakra
Jean
no mso ama me kwan mi teacher ni
Jean
me da so adwuma ni mu
Jean
na me gidi sɛ monamontu a motuoin
Jean
aboa bebree
Jean
enne Ghana fo ma ɛwɔ nhwɛsoɔ bebree
Jean
esan sɛ yi doctor de a waye kura afiri hɔ a
Jean
ɛbrɛ bi atwam Ghana sɛ ade a yɛnyanya bie ɛyɛ vice president ɔbaa
Jean
ana president ɔbaa
Jean
sɛ chief justice wɔyɛ ɔbaa
Jean
speaker of parliament otwa mu wɔyɛ ɔbaa
Jean
attorney general ɛyɛ ɔbaa
Jean
sɛ wohwɛ di bra kɛseɛ kane nanka yɛ mɛma dwuma
Jean
timi kae sɛ ɔbaa odi kan president Kufuor brɛ so na yɛma ne chief justice nsa mebree ɛkɔ so
Jean
na obetumi ayɛ wontumi nyɛ ade ne amfa ama bɛɛma
Jean
ne nyinaa mu no egidi sɛ yɛhwɛ nea maame no ayɛ a
Jean
ɔyɛ adeɛ paa
Jean
yɛkɔ yɛ universities mu a yɛhunu mmaa a wɔn agyina sɛ vice chancellors ne nea wɔn ayɛ megye di sɛ nnɛ mmɔfra baayɛ wɔn ani gyee ɛsiane sɛ nnipa a mobɛhyia a wɔn kasa kyerɛ mu nyinaa yɛ nnipa a mowɔ di berɛ bebree bi sɛ reproductive health nurse district director of education we yɛ nurse we yɛ obi koraa sɛ ɔyɛ marketing executive ɛwɔ African Regent mampani Kufuor ba no hotel hɔ no hotel kakraka yi na ɔbaa ɛna da o marketing ano a ɛkyɛ sɛ yɛnhwɛ so pa ti yɛhyɛ mu nkran ne aka kyerɛ mu sɛ ɛden ɔyɛ ma bɛbrɛ dwuma no ɛden paa san sɛ nnɛ yɛn nkwadaa no aba no megye di sɛ wɔ mu nim bebree kyɛn yɛ mpo nanso anam na ɛka sɛ ɛkyea ne nya mu yi a ɛyɛ den yɛtumi tene no anamo a motuo no mamu mpaaba wobɛbrɛ sikasɛm mu nim sɛ wobrɛ paa nnɛ workshop a mo yɛ yɛn TNT teachers a di nkwadaa n'akyi baayɛ wɔyɛ da no mu di akɔnea bɛɛ nyinaa sɛ wobɛsoma wɔ mo meboa abramboa ne nyinaa yɛ sikasɛm na yɛa ne yɛ bisa ɛhefa koraa ne yɛa ne sika ne frɛ megye di sɛ wo adwuma a woyɛ ɛne anuanom bi adwuma a ɔmoyɛ kakra a wɔ sɛ ka mode hwɛ mo ma ɛna moyi ɛde yɛ saa adwuma yi yɛde mpa ɛbɔ taa mo akyi ɛyɛ m'ani sɔ sɛ dwumadie so bɛsii regional office ha na mo sɛ yɛnkɔkyea na nammɔkɔm hene kyerɛ sɛ nananom so yɛwɔ biribi ka wɔ mu yɛwɔ dwuma bi di sɛsi a mete a sɛ mabɔ skul bi ho dawuro ansa na mobɛbɛ yi ɛsiane sɛ sɛ yɛtumi de yɛma no fa nwomasua mu a ɛno na yɛbɛtumi de akyekyerɛ wɔ man no ɔkɔ abɔnten mmayɛ agu street so kayɛye akɔda ketekete na ne ba hyɛ n'akyi na wɔso pan sɛ kyekyere yɛ man sei na kyerɛ sɛ ɔma no nni daakye san sɛ nimdeɛ a ɛwɔ sɛ yɛde pia ɔma no nka nkorɔ no ɛbɛbɔ yɛn nti yɛsrɛ mu ɛden na director odwuma no so odwuma no so san sɛ ɔbɛ kuma se ha nko ampo ebi a ne yɛmfa a wɔmfa mfikyire Say you do sorry anopa be 5. Na baby amoye program no. Edu atwa so asane akwa ek down honom railway line bi na mo so akogina honom around 5 a.m. You weep. You will weep. Why? Because so many girls passing by carrying their headbands. Well, they're going to kaya you. Ojumanoso. Ojumanoso. But in himself betumi aye. You sure tenten no kase ya. Director General in himself betumi aye. Intino wade wa ato ho. Omwa ma ye nua mai na mo a wo mutuo no. Enkwa animu. Emi so say any GS na ye partnership. Isan say wo pekwan awura sukuu mu a. Yi se onya tumi free GS one. Ti the best friend say brebi on baba bia. Kuma say ade ye mu hia permission meboa. Vida o. Na Sylvia so ni nam secondary school mu ho. Yeda mo ase. Monkoso. Na yentimi nhye bode. Emom brebi son na minim say de obeye obeja ho akọ. Beja makuma asefo no. Be a meeting be na say I was see a pensuo bi mankwada no se be o mani beje. Ne wo ma ene bi ana mo kan na yetimi aketua bi. Ye nhyebu. Nti mentworo se wa na na hye bo se obeye. Kakra bi aso be ye di aboa ma mudwumadi na koso no. Ya hoboa. Ti da mo ase. Nim se mudwumadi ne doso. Nti ye kase ye be ma tin a. Muja mi amekasa the whole day teacher ni there. Nti meda mo ase. Ni ani dia mo so mahu se nana no so wo bibi adi ewo twaka bi ewo mu ewo ema suku ni adesua mu. Meda mo ase.
Konya na o mata o mati ama dwumadi o mo de so mani so no. Etime awie epeya.
Adama msuebu ni krakra be masafo de 20 mu ni se onana no mu baya snap pantu bomu ade se de da wo ye no no bompa ipama wade hye na amanfo nyina wato akoso no ye ne sa na ne da mo be da mo ho adi asa to akoso bompa ya mo mama dwumadi no ayenkoso ira so da mase